Everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays of Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. 4 wins in a row. Every single one of them a unique gem in their own way. We're coming to the same conclusion via many different sources. QQOG, Yeln, and truly one of the better starts you could ask for. So I think the way that you can look at this, hold on, this is a very interesting room. Very interesting room indeed. The way that you can look at this, though, is that, it's not an XL floor, right? No. What? Pretty solid, dude. Don't take those yet, because they could be telepills. Just wait. I'm willing to do it, and it's not that bad, honestly. Like, it's not that good, either, but it's a small price to pay. Let's put it that way. I'm pretty sure we had okay stats. And then experimental treatment. I mean, in all likelihood, experimental treatment raised our HP by 1. I'll tell you that much. And then it might have actually just worked out well for, like, all of our stats. None of our stats look bad, really, except luck. And even luck is not, like, markedly below average. Actually, speed's not great. That's right. It was good enough to get around there, but just barely. But yeah, you know, you don't need me to put this into context. I'm sure you're probably aware of the fact that, you know, if you've been watching for a while, this run is on the very, very high side of good eating runs. And that's good eats. Good eating, good eating. Is Good Eats, like, back on the air? I don't know what's up with Alton Brown. I know, like, I like him, don't get me wrong. I hate this room. Like, I'm willing to use a bomb for my own convenience's sake. I like Alton Brown. I know he's hosting, like, you know, Cutthroat Kitchen or whatever the heck, if that's even still on the air. I don't know. Might be dating myself a little bit. But I really like Good Eats. Like, I've railed a lot in the past over the fact that I think, like, I feel like there's 2 genres of television program I essentially just never want to watch. One of them is food. The other one is houses, but you've heard me talk about that many, many times in the past, so we don't need to go down that road. I'm just like, I'm kind of over it, but there's different grades of over it. You know what I mean? Like, my least favorite kind of show is, a food show at least, is Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, but hosted by not Guy Fieri. So we have, you know, we have a Canadian version of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives called You Gotta Eat Here, where I'm like, you know, because it's Canadian, there's a little pull, because you're like, ooh, maybe they'll go to a restaurant that I know. But for the most part, I'm just like, it's not that I really love Guy Fieri. You know, I think he's reasonably personable. But he is also kind of like the one who popularized it, so he gets a pass, you know? It's like T-Pain using auto-tune. He might not be the only person that used auto-tune in that era, but it's who you associate with that kind of content. So even if you're like, I don't like auto-tune, you're like, oh, but that T-Pain, he could really sing. So, like, Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives hosted not by Guy Fieri is up there. And really, like, you'd be surprised how many shows there are where it's just dude goes to restaurant, eats food, and is like, this is good. There's a lot of them. At least, you know, when we used to get the Food Network, it was on all the time. I'm also I'm done with food reality shows. I think, you know, they're good for a time. And I know I'm giving disrespect to the Great British Bake Off here. That's not my intention. I just haven't seen too much of it. What I've seen of it, I'm like, I get it. Can I tell you something? I don't think British TV is necessarily universally better than American TV, but every version of a television show that I've ever seen that has a British version and an American version, the British version is better. I know there is trashy, oh my god, we've done it. I know there's trashy British shows as well. Don't pay, we'll take it away, etc., etc. But, like, the one I always go back to is, dude, like, UK Kitchen Nightmares is so good. Because it's just a really, like, you know, sometimes it gives you the tough love, but it's like a Gordon Ramsay. He's less of like a drill sergeant and more of like a concerned parent, you know? He doesn't use this voice as much. He uses a little bit more of like, come on, you know? I don't have a good Gordon Ramsay voice, as you can obviously tell, but I think you know what I mean. It's just so much less dramatic. It's like real people, you know? On the American version, there's always like needless drama and yada yada yada. We are very close to the Guppy Dream here, dude. I think we should stick with this for now. And let's go to the shop, too. Because Chaos, I'm not going to say it guarantees us Guppy, but it would put us in an incredible spot. But I will say that those shows, we just don't have a use case for the candle right now because we have so much damage naturally. I will say, like, that genre of television program... Sorry, Tarot Cloth. Is probably my favorite type of food show. Like, food plus business. Just because, you know, it's a nice story when they turn it around. But even, like, Bar Rescue, even though I think John Taffer is kind of, he's not my favorite type of television character. Sometimes you just see stuff on those shows and you're like, man, you're really running your business like that? Like that Pirates Tavern? Anyway, we don't need to go down this road necessarily. Just grab this and move on. I just, like, I'm kind of done with food shows, to be honest. And I'm not saying they should take it off the air. Obviously, it's doing very well. You know, it's one of the most popular genres of television. I also, like, sometimes people are like, yeah, I'm with you. I long for those old days where it used to just be, like, a dude or a lady in the kitchen and they were just cooking and showing you a recipe. And I'm like, we're not the same. Don't act like we're the same. I don't miss those shows at all. Cause I'm never in the age of the internet, I'm never gonna watch a television program of someone cooking food and make the recipe myself. You know, I would rather just get a recipe online. So the only time it would ever be relevant is if I was like, you know, you just find something inherently entertaining or pleasant about watching somebody else cook and eat something that admittedly is probably gonna look pretty great. I just don't get it anymore. Like, I don't get that satisfaction. I watch it, people, because I've talked about 90 Day Fiancé, people are under the impression that I'm like a reality TV addict or something. I only watch truly spectacular programming, like 90 Day Fiancé, and Better Call Saul. But apart from that, I watch much less TV than you would expect. You know, I'm talking like, I mean, I watched all of Better Call Saul, which is about 10 hours of programming, over the course of about maybe 2.5 weeks. And that was like, I was tired by the end of it. I was like, man, I gotta stop watching so much TV. I don't have the, I don't really have like the binge watch gene in me anymore, I think. Or, well, it's not really how genes work, but I don't have that propensity anymore. Let's put it that way. So this is a nice little 1-2 combo here. I haven't even watched, like, I think I watched like 4 episodes of 90 Day Fiancé in the last season, and I've watched none of the new seasons so far. It's, you know, I just don't find, well, actually that's not true. I watch hockey, but, you know, apart from that, that doesn't really count. That's more like a religious observance in Canada. So you can't mock me, or I can sue you. Just the way it works. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. Things will never be the same. Get me out of here. Get me into here. Like, that's good, but I'm fishing for something on a new level, you know? I can live with that. We probably should buy a key, but I'm enamored with the idea of getting a half-price item. I think that was sensible-ish is the way I'll describe that. Now let's get the heck out of here. Need a speed upgrade, dude. But anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not a food guy. I mean, I like eating food. When people tweet pictures of their food, I like looking at them. I go, oh, that looks pretty good. Sometimes I tweet them, oh, wow, that looks good. In my head, I'm thinking, kind of looks like garbage, a little bit overcooked. But you know what? I'm not going to rain on your parade. No matter, and this is crazy to me, and I haven't gone off on a rant like this in a few Isaac episodes, so you're probably like, you're starved for it. people sometimes on Twitter in particular, because I don't post that kind of stuff on other platforms, I guess. They're very rude, and I don't think they realize it when it comes to food pictures. If anybody takes a picture of their food and doesn't preface it with, like, what the heck went wrong here, that person is just, you know, fishing for compliments, okay? They're just fishing for you to say, wow, it looks good. And it doesn't make you like a cool dude who doesn't play by the rules to be like, actually, the thing that you're enjoying sucks. It just kind of makes you like, you know, you haven't really read the room. You know, you got your social cues all backwards. I'm saying this to help out. I actually think we'll take the HP on this one, weirdly enough. Let's head down to the next floor. So, like, you know, a few times a year, usually, like, Kate's birthday, my birthday, our anniversary, we'll go out for a nice dinner. And usually Kate will tweet the food. What's crazy is that we'll have people that are like, you know, sometimes, you know, I have a wide enough reach that people will see the tweet and be like, oh, you know what, I work at a fine dining restaurant, you know. Not in Vancouver, but maybe in, you know, Pittsburgh or something like that. And I'm so jealous of this. The plating looks amazing. This looks immaculate. And then we'll have somebody, inevitably, if any food is brown, somebody goes, it looks like what I left in the toilet this morning. And it's funny when I say it because I say it funny. When you say it all weird. It doesn't come out the same. It's like you're wearing your dad's suit, you know? You think it's like, the suit looks good. Nah, your dad looks good in the suit. You gotta get the suit tailored to yourself. Stop taking my material. Anyway. So I cooked, you know, Kate, I asked Kate what she wanted for dinner. And she was like, I don't really want to cook, but I want to eat kimchi-jun, which is like a kimchi pancake. It's made with like vegetable flour and, well, kimchi obviously, and then, you know, like some red pepper for spice, and, you know, you get the idea. Anyway, she was like, do you want to cook it? And I was like, no. And then she's like, come on. And I was like, all right. I'll just do it. So, you know, she taught me how to make it. I made it. And the first couple, they didn't turn out horribly, but they weren't that, you know, they weren't picturesque. Then I made a couple that were really good. I took a picture of it and put it on Twitter. And I had a couple people legitimately say, like, that looks like something I've seen exit another human being. And I'm like, it's an orange pancake. If what you're saying is true, which I know that it's not, and it's just a fish for some kind of, you know, laugh. See, I've been on the internet long enough. But if what you're saying is true, you need to tell whoever you saw that exit, and I'm guessing it was probably you, to go see a doctor, because if the waste that you expel from your body comes out as an orange pancake, you are dying. You need to go talk to somebody. Inadvertently, your attempt to get a cheap own has actually reflected very badly on your own gastrointestinal system. You need to talk to somebody this instant. I'm like, because I'm always stunned with the picky eaters. Sometimes I'll tweet like a pizza that has like a little bit of arugula on it, and I'll be like, this is really good. People are like, yeah, it looks like my garden. There's like 4 leaves on it. Well, you don't eat green foods? You don't eat brown foods? What do you eat? There's not that many foods left. Anyway, that's just my little rant here. Honestly, the reason it looked like crap, though, is not because it, I mean, first off, it didn't really look like crap, but if it looked crap-esque. I really want the guppy dream, though. I'm sorry, I really want the why have you forsaken me? It's still pretty good, actually. But it's not because we need the speed more than anything else here. It's not because it was a badly cooked piece of food. It's because it was not a very good photo. And still, I don't know anything about taking photos. I really, to be honest with you, I kind of missed the moment there. You know, when everybody started taking good photos, I took that, like, high and mighty opinion of, like, what kind of society are we that we take photos of everything, you know? And I still, to some extent, I kind of believe it. But now, instead of taking photos of everything, people are using their words way more often. And I'm like, oh, this is much worse. I like to go back to the days where social media was predominantly just like, I had a salad, and there's a photo of the salad, and then you'd go, looks good. That was peak, not peak enjoyment, because I think there's a lot to like about some social media platforms still. But that was like, let's not call it peak enjoyment. Let's call it valley frustration. There was so little frustration in those days. The number one frustration would be like, I took a picture of my sandwich. Jim didn't click the like button. Nowadays, you're like, do you see this dumb stuff I saw on Twitter today? People are genuinely there. Again, I don't bring this up to be misanthropic. Except maybe like a little bit. But the number of people that I have seen, and I say people skeptically, but the number of people I've seen on Twitter that are trying to tell people coronavirus is legitimately not just like overblown, but is like either the stats are made up or alternatively it was built in a CIA laboratory to like trim the population of Earth. I'm like, no offense, lady, but like, if you knew this, wouldn't you have more than 6 followers? I know that's an ad hominem attack, but is it though? I feel everybody learns the logical fallacies if they take like a rhetoric class or a philosophy class or debate, etc., etc. But I feel like not enough people get the lesson of sometimes it's okay to use an ad hominem attack. Like if someone is spreading, misinformation openly about, like a public health issue, then you can be like, actually, Susan, you're a dummy. Shut up. I'm not gonna do it. I'm a public figure. I got too much to lose. That's why I said Susan instead of their actual Twitter handle. But when I see it, I'm like, yeah, get him. You deserve this one. Joker card, maybe? Oh, why do we don't need the Joker card necessarily. Generally speaking, is very simple. I think on any issue of science, if you're not a scientist, I'm not gonna say keep your mouth shut, because I don't want that to be necessarily taken out of context. It's not even really exactly my message. On any issue of science, though, don't talk about the science. You can talk about what the science means for, like, if a report comes out that's like, oh, carbon emissions are up, 2.8% this year. We need to keep them under 2.3% if we're going to stop the, global temperature rise from hitting 2 degrees by 2030 or something like that. Like that, if you're not a scientist, I hate to say it, you don't get to, your opinion on that doesn't matter. If you're like, well, we have to do it, but here's the way I would do it, then I'm like, okay, at least, like, your interpretation is potentially valid in that situation. As long as you're not arguing the results of the science and instead are arguing perhaps for some of the interpretations or, the ramifications of it, which is still from a position of ignorance, to be fair, but for most people, pardon me, myself included, but if you see like a science, and I know some people they love arguing, myself included. But like I was just about to say, unless a scientific journal says, and then you would say, Ryan, that's potentially fair, but at the same time, scientific journals are not necessarily infallible. Yeah, but that's like a you and your science friends discussion. That's not you and, Tim the plumber on Twitter who is arguing in bad faith and, I don't know, just for whatever reason thinks that it's not happening because he doesn't want it to happen. That's another situation you gotta read the room. My personal opinion, at least. So we're still fishing for this Guppy Dream. Another entry in the Diagonal Walking Championship. Look, no, I don't want it. You know, to be honest, I actually don't want it. It's trash, but, you know, like, it's our trash. We might as well go for it. Anyway, I don't even like getting into that stuff because honestly, I've learned a lot from streaming so much. If you're a smart person, if you're a clever person, we get ourselves into trouble too much by trying to be exactly right. That's my honest, you know, 2 cents about this subject. I think most people know what I'm saying. And kind of agree with me, but they're like, you're 10% wrong, so I'm gonna argue with you. No, we gotta save the argument for the people who are 100 to 3,000,000% wrong. Save the argument for them. We're on the same side here. Help. That's why I only use Twitter to post sales material designed to get you to watch our podcast or Golden Goblet, or, you know, vote on, like, hey, what's the coolest series we got going on now? Or alternatively, exclusively memes. And then I've really gotten into the habit, and honestly, it feels really nice. I've really gotten into the habit of, like, when I see something cool, tweeting the person that is a cool thing. Previously, I'd, you know, see something cool, like maybe a streamer is like, hey, check it out. I got new cabinets. I'd look at it, and I would go, nice cabinets. Now, I look at it and I go, nice cabinets. And then I click that tweet button and I go, hey dude, nice cabinets. Because, you know, having been on social media for so long myself, it feels good. You know, if you tweet a photo of your cabinets, it's because you want, yeah, let's go for it. It's because you want people to be like, you know, hey, nice cabinets. No, you're not flexing necessarily. When I see, like, somebody on Twitter obviously trying to flex, I would never give them the time of day. It's always like, you know, hey, check it out, I got new shoes. And then they're, like, posed on the hood of a white BMW coupe. That's the #1 genre of flex tweet. Hello, Matriarch. Fancy seeing you on the Womb 1. Man, how long has it been since we've seen the Matriarch? Oh, approximately 23 minutes. Who would have thought? Don't give up on this one. I was just gonna say, I saw that double tinted rock. I didn't want to get, well, I guess we're not really worried about the deal with the devil chance because of the duality, right? But I think, like, oh, maybe we are. Not that it mattered in the end anyway. But I think previously I kind of had this attitude, not a bad one necessarily, but it's like, if someone is posting something on social media and it seems like so clear that it's designed to get them, like, you know, a positive response, if you give them a positive response, you're letting them win. I never openly thought that, but, like, I think subconsciously in my head there was a little bit of that, like, psychology going on. Now I'm more like, dude, maybe if I tweet this person, nice cabinets, when they read it, they're going to have a better day as a result. Maybe when I'm having a 50% day instead of a 98% day, they'll tweet me and say, like, hey, dude, been noticing your progress in the gym. Keep it up. You know, it just, we got to be strong to hold each other up. It's not like a reciprocity thing. It's just like a niceness thing, you know? Nothing wrong with making somebody else feel good. Trust, as someone who receives a lot of tweets today, or per day, I should say, they run the gamut. People are pretty nice to me on social media. But when sometimes the thing that I think a lot of people, and even myself, struggle with is, like, no matter what you tweet, a lot of comedians come out of the woodwork and are like, hey, you know that, like, cool thing? Wouldn't it be funny if instead of being cool, it sucked? And you're like, what are you doing? This wasn't like a joke. This is like a real thing I tweeted. You're trying to make either some bad faith argument or, like, alternatively turn it into, like, your own weird stand-up hour. That's not what this is for. I would much rather have, like, and this is where I reap what I sow, because I'm probably going to get, like, 30 tweets that say this in 2 weeks now. And I'm going to be like, what the heck? Why is everybody tweeting me this? And then they'll be like, this episode. And I'll be like, all right. But I'd much rather get a bunch of tweets that are like, hey, nice cupboards. Than get tweets that are like, well, those cupboards are okay, but I work at Home Depot, and personally, you spent a little bit too much on those brass doorknobs. We could have gotten you a synthetic brass that would have saved you 30%. Just tweeting this under the guise of helping you out, when really what I'm trying to do is make myself feel like an authority on the subject. Now, that maybe was a little bit overly rude, but... Plus, I haven't tweeted a photo of my cabinets yet. Because they're not made with real brass. There's no flex. You know what I mean, though? Maybe yes, maybe no. Honestly, I'd much rather get a lot of, I mean, why wouldn't you, right? But I'd much rather get a lot of tweets that are, like, positivity instead of, like, very pedantic arguing, which happens all the time. That's all we need to do about it. That's all we need to go. I also do still get tweeted occasionally, both positively and negatively for the record, and both of them kind of annoy me. But you'd be surprised how much I get tweeted by people about American politics, and I'm like, man, what is it like to live in a country where, like, I don't even live in your country, and you're like, what are your thoughts on, you know, this, or like, I can't believe you would say this, or hey, thanks, a lot of your friends have gotten really aggressive about their politics lately. I just wanted to say thank you for not, like, that's the one it kind of triggered this for me today. Somebody tweeted me and was like, thank God there's some streamers who haven't gone off the deep end with their politics like you. You know, we stan a king who, you know, separates his politics from his entertainment. And I'm like, dude, you might think that I would, like, be stoked to hear that, but I'm, like, the exact opposite for sure. Yeah, some of my friends are, like, openly political on social media. It's their life. I'm not gonna be like, oh, don't do that. 5% of people that see that might think that I told you to tweet that, and I'm trying to keep politics out of my Isaac episode. Like, it's your life. I'm not gonna tell you what to tweet and not tweet, especially if you don't ask me, because why would you? But, you know, I took not even offense, but I was just like, man, there's so much about this. Your tweet that is like, it's got a mask on of like, I'm being nice to somebody, is actually like, hey, I don't like your friends, which is just an insulting thing to be tweeted in the first place. And then, like, it's building you up, but also tearing other people down, which is way worse than just not seeing anything at all. And then on top of that, I was like, I don't live in your dang country. Like, yeah, I'm real apolitical about American politics. I'm not an American citizen. I have opinions. But at the same time, you know, I'm not like, you know, not openly campaigning for anybody, because I don't live there. But I just, that one, and it's not like that is a very atypical thing to be tweeted. So don't act, like, I don't want to misrepresent it like that happens all the time. But I was just like, man, this person tweeted me, and they probably think, like, I'm going to read it and be like, hey, thanks for the compliment. I do try to keep those separated for that exact reason. Instead, I read that, and I was like, man, this guy's being a real jerk to some friends of mine. And then, for some reason, he's trying to pull me in on his scheme. He thinks that I'm gonna, like, DM him and be like, yeah, screw Rob for volunteering for the Bernie campaign. I'm just over here trying to be nice to people and play Isaac, dude. Don't drag me into your weirdness. Anyway, I can't help but notice a lot of these Isaac runs start to get a little spooky towards the end. Now, this one, I think, is just a psychological defect for me. I think we're actually totally fine. I will say, having picked up duality, let me stop the comment right here that is like, you know, the right angle bracket picks up duality, right angle bracket on a new line, never goes to the deal with the angel once. Look, you're right, but it's not a good faith argument. I was really trying to fish for that guppy item. Did it work? No. If I could go back in time, knowing what I know now, would I go to those angels with the deals with the angel more often? Yeah, for sure. But, you know, think you can make a right angle bracket post about anything. If I went to all the deals with the Angel, you could be like, picks up 2 guppy items, right angle bracket, never checks the deal with the devil for the 3rd one, forehead, just NL things. I'm not trying to be too bitter about it. I'm just saying. I don't prescribe the right angle bracket logic. I don't subscribe to that, nor any comment that starts with implying. Those are the 2 things that I look at and I'm like, I can do better. But this is gonna be huge, dude. This black rune is gonna take us to the freaking moon. Okay, all stats, I think. Why didn't you Yera, you son of a gun? I think we like this. I think we like this. That turned out okay. Hopefully we can get a... Did we have... No, Humbling Bundle was last run, right? Hopefully we can find a good opportunity to Yera. Look, you're not going to necessarily agree with what I say here. I think this is a good opportunity to Yera, straight up. But I actually think I use Yera badly a lot of the time. Oh, baby. I think I use it way too often to try to get another item that has like a probably like 7% chance to be completely useless, and not nearly often enough to just get more HP that would pretty much guarantee my existing run would win easily. Genuinely, that's like the paradigm shift I'm on in Isaac right now is exactly that. We got him. Way more like, hey, just try to keep yourself alive with Yeras and, you know, any kind of doubling you get, I guess. Like Diplopia, for example. And way less like, oh, we're going to fish for that like 1 in 10 chance that we're going to get, you know, 2 Proptosises. There's pluses and minuses, you know, getting a huge bounty out of a double is always a great feeling. And I mean, there's no... We should have used Yera on the item room of the chest there. That was just a misstep on my part, but... Not trying to, you know, dodge that smoke. Okay. You should be pretty much extraordinarily toasted. You love to see it. Get me out of here. Hey, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have... Oh! The explosion almost sent me to void. If you enjoyed it, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!